Do you ever find yourself suddenly craving a long-forgotten food from your childhood? That sweet and sour sauce you'd drizzle over your meatloaf, or that thick, creamy spread you'd slather on your toast in the morning? For many of us children of the 70s, 80s, and 90s, those once familiar flavors have slowly disappeared from the modern American kitchen, victims of changing tastes, evolving health trends, and the fickle tides of popular culture. This is the story of 28 middle-class foods that slipped through the cracks of culinary history, and the bittersweet nostalgia we still feel for their lost flavors. SpaghettiOs. In the 1960s, the Campbell Soup Company revolutionized the world of canned pasta with the introduction of SpaghettiOs, miniature, O-shaped pasta pieces swimming in a sweet tomato sauce. For cash-strapped families in the 70s and 80s, this shelf-stable, kid-friendly meal was a dinner-time staple, easy to heat up and serve with a slice of garlic bread. With their distinctive circular shape and playful tomato flavor, SpaghettiOs became an iconic part of the middle-class American childhood. But by the 90s, shifting tastes and health concerns led to a steady decline in sales, and Campbell's discontinued the product in 2009, much to the dismay of nostalgic fans. Chicken a la king. This rich, creamy chicken dish was a mainstay of mid-century American cuisine, often served over fluffy biscuits or buttery toast points. Combining diced chicken, mushrooms, and pimentos in a velvety sauce, chicken a la king was a comforting, easy-to-prepare meal that graced many a 1970s and 80s dinner table. Its popularity waned in the following decades as lighter, more health-conscious fare took center stage, and by the 2000s, this once ubiquitous dish had all but disappeared from home kitchens and restaurant menus. Watergate salad. No middle-class family gathering in the 1970s and 80s was complete without a big bowl of Watergate salad, a sweet, creamy concoction made with canned pineapple, miniature marshmallows, whipped topping, and the signature ingredient, pistachio pudding mix. Named after the infamous political scandal of the era, this kitschy salad, which bore little resemblance to traditional green salads, was a fixture at potlucks, holiday meals, and other celebratory occasions. But as tastes shifted away from overly sweet, gelatinous salads in the 90s and 2000s, Watergate salad slowly vanished from the American culinary landscape. Shake and bake. In the 1960s, Shake and Bake revolutionized home cooking by allowing home cooks to quickly and easily bread and bake chicken, pork chops, and other meats. The simple process of shaking the meat in a bag with the seasoned breadcrumb mixture made for a perfectly crispy, flavorful coating every time. Shake and Bake became a staple in middle-class households throughout the 70s, 80s, and 90s, offering a faster, more foolproof alternative to traditional breading techniques. However, as cooking trends shifted towards more natural, minimally processed ingredients in the 2000s, Shake and Bake's popularity waned, and it eventually disappeared from many grocery store shelves. Beanie Weenies. For cash-strapped families in the post-war era, Beanie Weenies were a budget-friendly, protein-packed meal that could be quickly and easily prepared. The simple dish combined canned baked beans with plump little hot dogs, resulting in a savory, filling dish that kids and adults alike would eagerly devour. Beanie Weenies were a common sight on 1970s and 80s dinner tables, but as tastes evolved and families had more disposable income, this humble dish fell out of favor, eventually vanishing from the family table. Jell-O 1, 2, 3. In the 1960s, Jell-O introduced a revolutionary new product that allowed home cooks to create a 3-textured dessert with just a single box. Jell-O 1, 2, 3. By simply adding water and refrigerating, the gelatin would separate into 3 distinct layers: a firm Jell-O jiggler on the bottom, a creamy custard-like middle layer, and a light, airy foam on top. This fun, visually striking dessert was a staple of 1970s and 80s potlucks, church socials, and family gatherings. However, as health-conscious eating trends emerged in the 90s and 2000s, Jell-O 1, 2, 3's popularity waned, and it was eventually discontinued by the company. Juicy Juice. For health-conscious parents in the 1980s and 90s, Juicy Juice was the go-to choice for kids' fruit juice. Marketed as a 100% fruit juice with no added sugars or preservatives, Juicy Juice catered to growing concerns about childhood obesity and excessive sugar intake. The brand's signature small juice boxes, featuring whimsical illustrations of fruits, became an iconic lunchbox staple. But as the juice box craze faded and concerns about sugar content persisted, Juicy Juice lost its luster, eventually disappearing from many grocery store shelves as parents sought out even healthier juice options for their children. Country Time Lemonade. In the 1970s and 80s, the iconic Country Time Lemonade pitcher was a summertime fixture on middle-class American tables, offering a quick and easy way to whip up a refreshing glass of lemonade. With its bright yellow packaging and nostalgic country-inspired branding, the powdered lemonade mix evoked an idealized vision of simpler times. Families would mix the concentrated powder with water, creating a sweet, tart beverage that perfectly captured the essence of summer. However, as consumer preferences shifted towards natural, less processed foods in the following decades, Country Time lost its appeal, and the brand eventually discontinued the beloved lemonade mix. Sunny D. For a generation of 80s and 90s kids, Sunny D was the quintessential cool juice drink, a fluorescent orange alternative to traditional fruit juices. Marketed as a citrus punch with a bold, tangy flavor, Sunny D quickly became a lunchbox staple and a must-have for slumber parties and pool parties. The brand's bold, eye-catching packaging and fun, irreverent advertising campaign cemented Sunny D's status as the it drink of the era. But as health concerns about sugar and artificial additives grew in the 2000s, Sunny D's popularity began to wane, and the brand struggled to maintain its once dominant position in the crowded juice drink market. Pudding Pops. In the 1970s, Jell-O introduced a revolutionary frozen treat that combined the creamy richness of pudding with the refreshing chill of a popsicle. Pudding Pops. Available in classic flavors like chocolate, vanilla, and butterscotch, these portable pudding-on-a-stick delights became a ubiquitous summertime snack for middle-class families throughout the 80s and early 90s. The unique, indulgent texture and satisfying sweetness of Pudding Pops made them a hugely popular choice, particularly with kids. However, as consumer tastes shifted and health concerns over sugar and artificial ingredients grew, Jell-O discontinued Pudding Pops in the mid-90s, much to the dismay of nostalgic fans. Hamburger Helper. When it debuted in the early 1970s, Hamburger Helper revolutionized home cooking by offering a simple, affordable way for busy families to turn basic ground beef into a hearty, flavorful meal. The boxed mix, which contained dried pasta, seasonings, and a powdered sauce, allowed home cooks to quickly and easily prepare dishes like cheeseburger macaroni, stroganoff, and Salisbury steak. Hamburger Helper became a staple in middle-class pantries throughout the 70s, 80s, and 90s, providing a go-to solution for cash-strapped parents looking to stretch their meat supply. But as tastes evolved and home cooks sought out more natural, minimally processed ingredients, Hamburger Helper's popularity began to wane in the 2000s. Jell-O Jigglers. In the 1980s, Jell-O introduced a fun, new way for kids to enjoy their favorite wiggly dessert, Jell-O Jigglers. These firm, gelatin-based treats were designed to be molded into playful shapes like dinosaurs, hearts, and stars, then popped out of the mold for a colorful, jiggly snack. Jell-O Jigglers quickly became a lunchbox staple and a go-to party food for middle-class families who delighted in the endless creative possibilities. However, as health-conscious eating trends took hold in the 90s and 2000s, concerns over Jell-O's high sugar content led to a decline in Jiggler popularity, and the product was eventually discontinued. Kool-Aid Burst. In the 1990s, Kool-Aid introduced a new line of fruit-flavored drinks aimed squarely at the youth market, Kool-Aid Bursts. These brightly colored single-serve pouches combine the iconic Kool-Aid flavor with a slightly carbonated burst for a refreshing, kid-friendly experience. Kool-Aid Bursts were a ubiquitous sight in middle-class lunchboxes and pool parties throughout the decade, offering a sweeter, more portable alternative to traditional Kool-Aid. But as concerns over sugar intake grew in the 2000s and parents sought out healthier juice options for their children, Kool-Aid Bursts gradually disappeared from store shelves. Quicker picker-uppers. In the 1970s and 80s, Bounty paper towels cemented their status as the go-to choice for American households with their memorable quicker picker-upper slogan and iconic quilt pattern design. Bounty's superior absorbency and durability made it a staple in middle-class kitchens, where it was relied upon for everything from mopping up spills to cleaning surfaces. The brand's catchy jingles and memorable advertisements further solidified Bounty's place as the quintessential paper towel of the era. However, as consumer preferences shifted towards more eco-friendly and sustainable products in the following decades, the once dominant quicker picker-upper gradually disappeared from many homes. TV dinner. For busy, cash-strapped families in the 1950s through the 80s, the TV dinner was a revolutionary convenience food that allowed them to enjoy a hot, pre-portioned meal with minimal prep time. These frozen aluminum tray meals, which often featured classic dishes like meatloaf, fried chicken, or Salisbury steak, became a staple in middle-class American households, offering a quick and easy solution for weeknight dinners. The nostalgic branding and iconic divided trays of TV dinners cemented their place in the cultural zeitgeist, becoming an integral part of the mid-20th century American experience. But as tastes evolved and health concerns emerged, TV dinners gradually fell out of favor, eventually vanishing from the family dinner table. Crispy Critters. In the 1970s, Nabisco introduced a whimsical new cereal line that appealed to the inner child in all of us: Crispy Critters. These bite-sized, animal-shaped puffed corn pieces, available in flavors like chocolate and peanut butter, were an instant hit with middle-class kids who delighted in the playful shapes and flavors. Crispy Critters' fun, collectible packaging, and engaging ad campaigns further cemented their status as a beloved breakfast staple throughout the decade. But as health-conscious eating trends gained momentum in the 80s and 90s, Crispy Critters' high sugar content and artificial ingredients led to a decline in popularity, and the product was eventually discontinued. Butterfinger BBs. In the 1990s, the iconic Butterfinger candy bar underwent a delightful transformation as Nestlé introduced bite-sized Butterfinger BBs. These crunchy, peanut butter-flavored nuggets, coated in the signature Butterfinger crunch, became an instant lunchbox and concession stand staple for middle-class kids. The portability and shareability of Butterfinger BBs made them a popular choice for birthday parties, movie nights, and other social gatherings. But as consumer preferences shifted towards healthier, less processed snack options in the 2000s, Butterfinger BBs fell out of favor and were eventually discontinued by Nestlé. Jell-O pudding bites. In the 1980s, Jell-O introduced a fun, bite-sized version of their classic pudding called Jell-O pudding bites. These pre-portioned, individually wrapped pudding cups, available in flavors like chocolate, vanilla, and butterscotch, were a convenient and portable snack option for middle-class families. Jell-O pudding bites became a lunchbox staple and a common sight at potlucks and school functions, offering a quick, mess-free way to satisfy a sweet tooth. However, as health concerns over sugar and artificial ingredients grew in the following decades, Jell-O pudding bites gradually disappeared from store shelves, much to the disappointment of nostalgic fans. Quaker Oats dinosaur eggs. In the 1990s, Quaker Oats sought to make breakfast fun and engaging for middle-class kids with the introduction of Dinosaur Eggs instant oatmeal. These single-serve packets featured dinosaur-shaped dehydrated fruit pieces that would hatch and expand when hot water was added, revealing a hidden surprise inside. The imaginative, prehistoric-themed packaging and interactive preparation process made dinosaur eggs a beloved breakfast staple for a generation of 90s children. But as consumer preferences shifted towards healthier, less sugary oatmeal options, Quaker Oats discontinued the dinosaur eggs line, leaving many nostalgic fans wishing they could relive the magic of that morning meal. Planters cheese balls. In the 1970s and 80s, Planters cheese balls were a ubiquitous snack found in middle-class American pantries and lunchboxes. These airy, bright orange puffed corn balls, coated in a tangy, cheese-flavored seasoning, offered a fun, crave-worthy alternative to traditional potato chips and pretzels. The distinctive packaging, featuring the iconic Planters mascot Mr. Peanut, further solidified cheese balls' status as a beloved, nostalgic snack for generations of children and adults alike. However, as consumer tastes shifted towards healthier, less processed snack options in the 90s and 2000s, Planters cheese balls gradually disappeared from store shelves, leaving a crunchy, cheesy void in the hearts of their loyal fans. Clearly Canadian. In the 1990s, Clearly Canadian burst onto the scene as a refreshing, health-conscious alternative to traditional soda pop. These all-natural, sparkling, fruit-flavored waters, presented in their distinctive clear glass bottles, quickly became a status symbol and a must-have accessory for middle-class teens and young adults. With flavors ranging from wild cherry to mountain blackberry, Clearly Canadian offered a sophisticated, grown-up take on the classic fruit soda, appealing to consumers seeking a less sugary, more wholesome beverage option. However, as the fizzy water craze of the 2000s took hold, Clearly Canadian's popularity waned, and the brand eventually discontinued production, leaving many nostalgic fans yearning for its return. Fruit Wrinkles. In the 1980s, Nabisco introduced a fun, fruit-flavored snack that combined the chewy texture of fruit leather with the satisfying crunch of baked chips. Fruit Wrinkles. These colorful, wrinkly-shaped crisps, available in flavors like strawberry, cherry, and grape, offered a healthier, more natural alternative to traditional potato chips and candies. Fruit Wrinkles quickly became a lunchbox staple and a popular choice for middle-class family movie nights, providing a tasty, portable snack that both kids and adults could enjoy. But as consumer trends shifted towards even more minimally processed, whole food snacks in the 90s and 2000s, Fruit Wrinkles quietly disappeared from grocery store shelves. Planters Peanut Butter Kisses. In the 1970s and 80s, Planters Peanut Butter Kisses were a beloved bite-sized snack that combined the rich, creamy flavor of peanut butter with a lightly crunchy, chocolate-coated exterior. These portable, poppable treats, adorned with the familiar Planters logo, were a common sight in middle-class household pantries, offering a satisfying way to indulge a sweet and salty craving. Peanut Butter Kisses became particularly popular around the holidays, when their festive packaging and shareable size made them a convenient party snack. However, as consumer preferences shifted towards healthier, more natural snack options in the following decades, Planters Peanut Butter Kisses gradually disappeared from store shelves, leaving many nostalgic fans longing to revisit the comforting flavors of their childhood. Keebler Magic Middles. In the 1980s, Keebler introduced a decadent new cookie that quickly became a lunchbox and after-school snack staple for middle-class kids, Magic Middles. These bite-sized cookies featured a crunchy golden exterior surrounding a gooey, creamy filling, available in flavors like chocolate, peanut butter, and caramel. The delightful contrast of textures and the satisfying burst of rich flavor made Magic Middles an irresistible treat, and their whimsical packaging featuring the Keebler elves further cemented their status as a beloved childhood indulgence. However, as consumer preferences shifted towards healthier, less processed snack options in the 90s and 2000s, Magic Middles gradually disappeared from store shelves, leaving many nostalgic fans wishing they could recapture the magic of that beloved cookie. Oreo O's cereal. In the 1990s, Oreo cookies made the leap from lunchbox staple to breakfast cereal with the introduction of Oreo O's. These chocolate-flavored O-shaped pieces, dotted with creamy-filled Oreo bits, offered a fun and indulgent way for middle-class families to start the day. Oreo O's quickly became a hit with kids, who delighted in the familiar Oreo taste and the opportunity to enjoy their favorite cookie as part of a balanced breakfast. The brand's engaging advertising campaigns, featuring the iconic Oreo cookie mascot, further solidified Oreo O's as a cultural touchstone of the 90s. But as health-conscious eating trends gained momentum in the 2000s, the high sugar content of Oreo O's led to its eventual discontinuation, much to the disappointment of its loyal fans. Fruit Gushers. In the 1990s, General Mills introduced a fun, fruit-flavored snack that quickly became a lunchbox staple for middle-class kids, Fruit Gushers. These brightly colored, chewy, fruit-flavored bites were designed to gush with a burst of sweet juice when bitten into, offering a unique and satisfying sensory experience. Fruit Gushers' vibrant packaging, featuring whimsical characters, and their bold, intense fruit flavors made them an instant hit with the young consumer market. The shareability and portability of the individual pouches further cemented Fruit Gushers' status as a quintessential 90s snack. However, as concerns over sugar and artificial ingredients grew in the following decades, Fruit Gushers gradually disappeared from store shelves, leaving many nostalgic fans craving that familiar fruit-forward gush. Taco Bell Chilito. In the 1980s and 90s, Taco Bell offered a unique, pocket-sized, Mexican-inspired snack that became a beloved menu item for middle-class fast food fans, the Chilito. This compact, handheld item combined a soft flour tortilla, ground beef, cheddar cheese, and a signature chili lime sauce, creating a savory, flavorful bite that was easy to enjoy on the go. The Chilito's portable size, affordable price point, and satisfying blend of textures and flavors made it a popular choice for a quick lunch or snack. However, as Taco Bell's menu expanded and consumer tastes evolved, the Chilito was eventually discontinued, leaving many loyal customers disappointed to see this nostalgic menu item disappear. Minute Maid fruit bars. In the 1980s and 90s, Minute Maid offered a refreshing, fruit-based frozen treat that became a summertime staple for middle-class families. Fruit bars. These brightly colored, all-natural popsicles were made with real fruit juice, providing a healthier alternative to traditional ice cream bars and sugary popsicles. With flavors ranging from classic orange and cherry to more exotic options like kiwi and peach, Minute Maid fruit bars offered a delightful way to beat the heat while indulging in a touch of fruity sweetness. The brand's commitment to using high-quality, minimally processed ingredients further endeared fruit bars to health-conscious parents. However, as consumer preferences shifted and competition in the frozen treats market intensified, Minute Maid fruit bars eventually disappeared from grocery store freezer sections. As tastes, trends, and priorities have evolved over the decades, many of these once ubiquitous foods have slipped through the cracks, relegated to the hazy recesses of our memories. But their absence has left a palpable void, a longing for those familiar flavors and the sense of comfort and community they once evoked. In the end, the story of these vanished foods is a poignant reflection of the cultural shifts and generational divides that have reshaped the American culinary landscape. Yet, even as these products have faded from the modern dinner table, their enduring legacy lives on in the bittersweet nostalgia of those who grew up savoring their unique delights. For in those moments when we suddenly crave a long-forgotten taste of our childhood, we are reminded that the most enduring foods are those that nourish not just our bodies, but our memories and the connections that bind us together as a community.